Hey, good evening from Upland Ranch. I apologize if my camera is a little bit on the blurry side on this side, but I just wanted to come out here and do a tour of the orchard with you this evening. I know we've done that recently, but if you watched the video from yesterday, we are in for another freeze tonight, which we're so excited about. That's really awesome. A little over 2 weeks after what was supposed to be our last frost of the year, our last frost date, about April 15th, which happens every year. Today, March 6th, it's supposed to get down between 30 and 32 degrees again. So, yay. That's awesome. Very glad that we didn't have any more garden plants out started or done much planting. I've been kind of irritated about that, honestly, like I said in the video yesterday, but the good Lord must have been just staying my hand because he knew this was coming. We do have the garden covered up in blankets. It got pretty cold last night. I think it got down to 36. Tonight it's supposed to freeze. The high tomorrow is going to be in the low 70s. So we'll come out after sunrise tomorrow and uncover everything, and hopefully it'll all be okay. Now the fruit out here in the orchard, I'm kind of concerned about still. If it doesn't get much below 32, I think we'll be okay. The blooms are all done. Everything that's gonna set fruit has set fruit, but it's kind of a frustrating year because last year with the drought and everything, we didn't get anything. It was dry all winter long. We had late frosts, several in a row. It stayed pretty chilly until May, even though we weren't getting any actual freezes by this point. It was still pretty chilly and damp. But because it was so dry all winter, and the year before that we had such an abundance of fruit, God was showing off. We had, it sounds weird, we had so many apples that it killed one of the apple trees. Like it couldn't handle it anymore. So by the time we got everything harvested, the tree was just done. And it was getting kind of old anyway. So, but yeah, we had so much fruit 2 years ago. Last year, nothing. And this year we were having 80 degrees in February. Everything was budded out super early. We thought we were going to lose the peaches. We didn't. We did on one tree, the early blooming peach tree, but there's still some fruit out there on a couple. The apples are looking pretty good. I think we're going to have a good apple year, assuming we get through tonight and tomorrow morning. Here's hoping. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to go through the trees. And if you're interested, take a look, because I'd like to have it documented of what, if we lose everything, I want to know what we could have had. We'll see. Hoping that we won't have a problem, and it's going to be a fantastic fruit year because we've got a lot of plans for the orchard as a whole and for the fruit. Oh yeah, enough of me talking. Let's just flip this around and see what's up. Here we've got the grapes. All 4 grapes seem to have transplanted nicely. They're looking good. There's 2 more there in the background. They're still pretty spindly, hard to see, but they're looking good. And of course, they're first year, so we're not going to get any fruit there. This here is an old apricot tree that was planted, I don't know, 40 if not 50 years ago. The whole thing just grows at about a 45-degree angle straight north. That's the way the wind blows. And for some reason, I'm assuming this tree never got staked up originally. If you don't know the story of Kansas, Kansas is named after the Kansa Indians, who were people of the South Wind. Dodge City, which is our address, we actually live south of Dodge City, is pretty consistently listed as one of the windiest cities in the continental United States. So yeah, this tree blowing straight north, that's our story right here. That's what it looks like when the wind blows. 1 year since I've lived on this property, only once in the last 17 years has this tree ever had apricots on it. Apricots bloom so early that they freeze every year, which is fine. I don't like apricots anyway. This here's a mulberry tree that I transplanted out here. It's more of a bush. I need to thin that out, but I got to do it little by little so I don't kill the whole thing. Turn that into a tree here. This is another peach. This one I planted, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago. One of the first ones I planted when I moved out here. I think this one does have some peaches on it, but not many. Let's walk through here. Oh, well, this one here right next to it. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, these are getting pretty big. See there? That's a nice looking cluster of peaches there. Oh yeah. This will be a good tree. This one is a little newer. I had to cut a big chunk out of this one, and it's like we've had some disease in there. You can see that. So hopefully that'll heal up nicely. This tree may be on its last legs. I don't know. I did plant several trees this year. Apple, plum, pear. Just in case we lose some more, it's time. No, I think I found some fruit on this tree the other day. Maybe not. Oh, well, there's one right there. There, see that? Another tiny little one forming there. That probably won't amount to anything. Yeah, there's a few. There, I think I see another one up there. You probably can't on the camera. But, so this is the earliest blooming tree. I'll be real surprised if that one has more than a dozen peaches on it. And this one over here is another peach. There's a few on there. These are a little bit smaller. You can kind of see some of those there. There's one. Some up here. There's a little cluster. So definitely not as loaded as that other one is. But there's still some out there. And this little guy here is the newest. This was every bit, this would have been as big as that one, but it actually died back, and I saved it from one little sprout that was coming from above the graft, but it's never really done well. Peaches are hard to grow in our environment. We've got a couple of new apples here. This one I planted last year. Doing quite well. And then that's another one from this last year as well. Those are the only two trees I got planted last year, which makes me very sad. Here's another mulberry that I got trimmed up. You see all that down there. Now it's just going to be a job throughout the year to keep all those suckers off. And I did hurt it quite a bit. You see those leaves there? They didn't like me cutting that much off the tree, but it'll have to get used to it. This one here I gotta check out. Okay, this is a pear tree that I planted this year. And I didn't think it was ever gonna come out of dormancy. But look at that. Right there. Isn't that awesome? There's another one. There's another one right there. I thought this tree was dead. Another one right there. But, like Michael Crichton said, life finds a way. This one over here is another one. That same boat that I thought was never going to come out of dormancy. But this morning I was out here and I found these buds. And I am very excited by that. This is a pear tree. I think that's like Bartlett. Our burn pit. There we had a bunch of deadfall, and a couple of weeks ago we had a nice day, got some moisture, and we're able to burn quite a bit of the brush out here, clean that up. This was an old apple tree I just need to cut out. It died. Get all those suckers off of there. Just take the whole thing out. Here's an apple. Got quite a few apples on this one. Pretty tiny yet. See there? Yeah. There's a nice cluster right there. Yeah, like that. Love seeing that. This here is another huge apricot tree. It's the same age as that other one, the first one I showed you, but it died before I ever lived here, and everything was just coming up from below the graft, so it has never borne fruit at all. And this is what happened over the winter. It's just it needs to come out, but it gives a lot of nice shade, and I just can't bear to take the whole thing out yet. So here's another apple that I did not have time to prune over the winter. Yeah, that's a mass of, it's a thicket in there, but there are some apples on here. I thought I found, this is the latest blooming tree of all of our apples. And that April 15th frost got most of them, but it does have some. Oh, there's an apple right there. There. All right. So this one is going to have to be massively pruned this year. Since it's not getting much fruit, I'll probably be able to do that before the start of fall. When it goes into dormancy, I can get some out of there. But yeah, that's a mess. It really is. And that's not helping it fruit at all either. It's putting way too much energy into leaves and foliage than it should be in blooming. But last year, this is one of our best producing trees. This one here got a little snapped on that last frost too. This is another pear that I planted this year. See, some of those leaves are getting kind of black, but it's coming out of it. Coming out nicely. Got a little peach there. Not very pretty. That's going to be a project trying to prune that into an actual tree. Another little peach. And we've got, oh, I need to stake this one up. badly. Look at that. That's another pear that also got sapped a little bit on the last frost, but it's surviving too. So if it'll survive tonight, we ought to be okay. This one here is another peach. And at first, I didn't think I was going to make it at all. I planted it right before that frost, but it's coming back a little bit. There's some new growth. We'll see. I don't hold out much hope for this one surviving. I think if tonight's freeze didn't happen, that it would be okay. Now I'm not so sure. This one here is, I think this was another pear, or what was that? Nope, that was a pear. This one is not going to come out. I had hoped maybe after seeing those others that this one would too, but it's dead. It's dry and dead all the way. Here's our last apple. This one's got a few on there. These are really, really good apples. I cannot remember what variety this is. Sorry, I got my thumb on the camera there. But yeah, these are some of our favorite apples. They make a wonderful, wonderful sweet cider. Look at all that in there. This one also needs to be pruned desperately. I hope some of those will actually ripen. It is so thick in there, it's ridiculous. Then the last of these new ones here, let's take a look at those. Hoping that they make it. Got some more plums here. Look at all these suckers down there. Let's rub those off. Put all that energy into the tree. We want it to grow up, not turn into a bush. And then this is another apple tree. Some more suckers off of there. That is, the tag says that's a pink lady. Well, hopefully that one does good. And then the last one here, this is a plum. Need to get another stake on that one. That's very tall. Tiny leaves. So I hope it'll be okay. Hope they'll all be okay. Especially those grapes. I've got a lot of hope for those. But that is the orchard tour. That's what we've got growing so far. It is time to turn the hose off and oh, that's on there tight. Wow. All right, I'll turn the camera off and take that hose off. We don't want that to freeze and break the line. No. There is the pre-freeze orchard tour. Hoping that everything survives intact and we have a great fruit year like we did a couple years ago. Because yeah, we got a lot of plans, got a lot of stuff we want to make and can and preserve and just enjoy some fresh eating. Here's hoping. Say a prayer for your local farmer if they are suffering some stupid weather this spring. A lot of us are. And with that, I'll leave you. We'll see you next time. Have a great time. God bless from all of us here at Upland Ranch. Good night.